self-sponsorship, there is no visa type called self-sponsorship route within the UK immigration rules. But what it is, it's a combination of two immigration category. One is sponsor license, another is skilled worker visa. In this video, I want to cover top 10 questions clients are asking us when they are considering self-sponsorship route. I'll take one question at a time and provide you a comprehensive response so that you can make a decision whether this is a right route for you or not. Before we get into it, I want to share a good news that we have achieved 100% success rate on the date of the recording of this video, which is 2nd January 2023. I'm very pleased with that outcome. This self-sponsorship route, as far as I am aware, we are the one who pioneered this route within UK. Considering UK immigration rules and regulation, this route is amazing for clients who wants to run their business in the UK, who also want to get permanent residency in the UK, and same time bringing their family, means spouse and children under 18 with them. So I hope if you are considering this self-sponsorship route, this video will give you the guidance and information that you need to make a decision. So here is question number 1. What is UK self-sponsorship visa and how does it differ from other types of visas? Okay, fine. So this is standard question everybody asks when they say, what is this self-sponsorship route and how does it differ from the other visas? So the response is self-sponsorship, there is no visa type called self-sponsorship route within the UK immigration rules. But what it is, it's a combination of two immigration category. One is sponsor license, another is skilled worker visa. It's nothing but a combination of sponsor license and a skilled worker visa. Now, how it works in practical terms, if you have intention to start a genuine business in the UK, step number 1 is you incorporate a company in the UK, which is 100% legit. You can open a company in the UK, and then after you get a sponsor license for that company, which is step number 2. And once you get the sponsor license for your own company, then if there is a genuine need for you to be here to run your business, then you can apply for a skilled worker visa for yourself to come and work for your own business in the UK. So this is like in nutshell summary how it works, the self-sponsorship route. So that's the answer to the first half of the question. Now the second half of the question is how does it differ from the other immigration route? Now, as we know, speaking in January 2023, there is no investor visa route for the UK for the investor. Even if you want to invest £2 million, this route has been closed down. There is no entrepreneur visa route, which was there before, long years back, with £200,000 investment. It's not there anymore. Now, so what would an investor or entrepreneur do if they want to invest in the UK and they want to run a business in the UK? So we are left with few options. One is like innovator visa category. The other one is startup visa and global business mobility. I mean, these are the closely related routes I can think of for someone who is considering self-sponsorship visa. So let's look at those routes one at a time. Startup visa, it doesn't require any minimum investment, but it doesn't lead you to a route to settlement in the UK. Innovator visa, yes, you can invest up like £50,000 in the UK, which is not a huge investment, but same time your business has to be innovative, scalable and viable. And if it is, then you need an endorsement from a recognized endorsing body. And once you get that endorsement, then you apply for innovator visa. And after 3 years, there is a stringent requirement. It's very strict requirement for you to satisfy to qualify for ILR. Because of all these red tapes, as an immigration advisor, I did not feel it's a straightforward route to get settlement, an easier route for someone to run a business in the UK. So what we did at AY Angel Solicitors, we came up with this innovative solution, and that solution is a self-sponsorship route. So since December 2020, Home Office has changed the rules in a way where even if you have up to 100% shareholding, you can sponsor yourself without paying yourself a high earner salary. This route was there anyways for many years, even till December 2020. But prior December 2020, there was a restriction, not restriction, but a special caveat within the immigration rule. If you own shares within your company more than 10%, then you should be paid high earner salary, which was around £160,000 per annum, which of course attracts a huge tax liability. And for this reason, it wasn't very popular because not everyone could afford paying around £80,000 a year in income tax. And of course, that will be like around £500,000 of in taxes approximately, and for that reason it wasn't very popular. But December 2020, the Home Office, they changed the rule, they took this requirement out of the immigration rule, and for that reason now anyone, even up to 100% shareholding, can sponsor themselves with normal salary requirement, which is around £30,000 per year. So that's the salary range, £35,000 approximately. If you pay yourself to run your own business, then you might qualify for skilled worker visa, which is, we dubbed it as a self-sponsorship route. I hope that makes sense. Now let's talk about the question number 2. What are the main requirements for obtaining the self-sponsorship visa in the UK? Very standard question. I'm sure you want to know that. What are the main requirements to obtain self-sponsorship visa in the UK? So requirement number 1 is you have to have a genuine intention to run a business in the UK. That is very fundamental, very basic, and that is, I would say, mandatory requirement. You have to have a genuine intention to run a genuine business in the UK. Now you will say, how can we prove that? I mean, your intention itself is enough for us to kickstart the process. Then after, you have to have adequate resources to run a business in the UK. What it means is you decide how much money would you require to run a business in the UK. And I've covered this in previous videos, but when we talk about resources, let's talk about the investment. There is no minimum or maximum investment required for this category. So it depends on your business. If you run a service-based business, for an example, a small IT consulting firm, you can start even with £50,000. But if you want to run a high-end hotel chain or hotel itself, where you have to either lease the hotel or purchase the hotel itself, then it might be few £1 million. So it depends. It depends what sort of business you want to run, and you decide how much money would you need to run that business, and you have to have access to those funds if Home Office wishes to check if it's a genuine business or not. There is no evidence requirement, specified evidence requirement on investment. You don't need to produce any evidence of your funds even, but Home Office might ask, how would you carry out this genuine business activity? As of now, the applications we have done so far, we have not encountered any complication or difficulty proving this intention. Then after, so as long as it's a genuine active trading business, which we also help our client to incorporate with the help of our strategic partners, but I'll come back to that in the next question, how we help. But as long as you have active trading genuine business in the UK, which you can easily, no matter where you are in the world, you can do that. And then after, you then apply for a sponsor license for your business. Any immigration lawyer, or if you are very smart and if you know how to apply for sponsor license, if you read the online policy guidance applying for sponsor license, or if you find a right lawyer who knows the process of applying sponsor license, then apply for sponsor license. Once you get the sponsor license, then you apply for skilled worker visa. Now we are talking about the requirements in this question, right? So we talked about requirement number 1, genuine business. Once you have intention of incorporating genuine business, then you incorporate the genuine business. Should be active trading at the time of applying sponsor license. Once you get that, then the third requirement is there a genuine vacancy in the business? That is the third requirement. And if yes, if you say, look, I need to be there to run my own business, which is a genuine requirement, hence is a genuine vacancy in the business, then you apply for skilled worker visa. Now when you apply for skilled worker visa, you don't need to prove, but there is a test, genuineness test, Home Office may look into, say, are you skilled enough or qualified or experienced enough to take the role which you are proposing to take within your UK business, right? It's about skill, qualification or experience. Now, I had a consultation last week. Someone is a dentist and he's in a management position in Middle East country. So I had a consultation with him and he said, do I qualify to run a restaurant in the UK, or can I run a restaurant in the UK, or can I run a convenience store in the UK? And my question was, if you are in management in any business, do you have transferable skill which you can rely on to run a business? But before that, I would ask, can you run a restaurant in the UK? And if you say confidently, yes, I can, then the follow-up question is why and how? So if you have transferable skill, that's good enough. You don't need anything. So you don't need to have a restaurant experience to run a restaurant in the UK. For an example, I run an UK immigration law firm in the UK. If I'm going to USA and I want to change my career, for an example, and if I want to run a digital marketing agency there, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, I know there are 4 elements of any business, which is marketing, sales, operation and finance, right? As long as I know these 4 pillar of the business well, then I can hire talent locally to help me to run this 4 area of my business, whether it's digital marketing agency, or whether it's a care home, or whether it's a dental clinic or anything else. I can hire professionals who are qualified, who are experienced to do the operation or sales or marketing or run the finance for me. But as an entrepreneur, I can run any business anywhere in the world, right? I can buy or hire talent which I don't have experience of, or probably don't have qualification of. So that's how I see as an entrepreneur. And if you see that, then you may be able to run business. But again, the question is, what sort of transferable skill, qualification or experience do you have to take the job role to run your own business in the UK? And yeah, last and final, the English language requirement. So you need to prove that you have English language certificate which is equivalent to B1. B1, if we translate that into IELTS score, IELTS is IELTS score, then in reading, writing, speaking and listening, you need 4 band in each section minimum. Minimum 4 band in each section. There are other secure English language tests you can also take, like PTE, but you need equivalent B1 in every area of the English test, which is reading, writing, speaking, listening. Now, if you have studied English medium, your bachelor's or master's degree, and if that degree is equivalent to UK bachelor's or master's, you can still apply for equivalency of that bachelor's or master's degree. That might satisfy the English language requirement as well. If you are coming from English speaking country like USA, then you don't need to take English test, you are exempt. And there are other countries which, of course, I'll put it in description list underneath this video, which countries are exempt of taking English language test. So in nutshell, I've tried to cover the requirements of self-sponsorship route. I hope that helps. Let's talk about the question number 3. Can I bring my family with me to UK on self-sponsorship visa? This is a straightforward question, and there is a straightforward answer. The answer is yes, you can bring your family with you on self-sponsorship visa route. You can bring your spouse and children under 18-year-old. At the time of application, when you submit your application for skilled worker visa, and if your children at the time of submitting application with you as a dependent, they should be on the date of application. On the date of application, they should be under 18. They should be under 18-year-old. So, of course, after that, if they will become over 18 once they arrive in the UK, if you are just under 18, in 5 years' time, of course, they will be over 18 in the UK, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. As long as they remain your dependent throughout your stay in the UK, they will also qualify throughout your stay in the UK as a dependent, though they might become over 18. And they will also qualify for permanent residency with you, even if they are over 18, as long as they have submitted their application before they turn 18 from overseas, the first application. I hope that makes sense. Okay, fourth question is, can I work and run my own business while on self-sponsorship visa in the UK? The answer is yes, you can work, but for your own business in the UK. Hope that makes sense. If you are on a self-sponsorship, if you say you are the main applicant and you are opting for the self-sponsorship route yourself, and if you get the skilled worker visa to work for your company, that means to run your own business or work for your own company, then you are restricted to work for your own company only. You can take up to 20 hours of a supplementary job anywhere else, as long as the supplementary job role is within the same industry and it is a similar job role as you have been sponsored for to work for your own company. For an example, it's let's say IT consulting company, and you are coming here as a IT operation manager, right, to run operations of your own business. Then you can work in a similar role in another IT consulting company as IT operations manager. What you cannot do is, you cannot go and work in a grocery store as a checkout on the checkout counter. Or what you cannot do is, if you are IT operations manager, you cannot go and work as in finance or administration purely, right? As long as the 20-hour supplementary work you are doing is within the same industry and with a similar job role, then it's allowed, it's fine. But apart from it, you are not allowed to work anywhere else but for your own company. I hope that makes sense. There are some follow-up questions. I think there is another follow-up question out of this question. Said, if I start a business, can I start more than one businesses in the UK? So let's say if you enter the UK as a director of a company. Now if you decide to branch out and if you want to open more businesses underneath this business, and your role is to managing director, your job role is a managing director of a business A, right? And so you are a managing director, but this business now is expanding and creating more businesses underneath. But you as a managing director of this parent company doesn't change. So yes, you can have multiple businesses underneath this umbrella, and you can expand more options. I mean, more ideas, more areas of business. Perfectly fine, you can do that logically. Of course, we need to talk. We should have a consultation if you were to change the direction of your business, if you change your career move. I don't know how you do it, what you do it, but take a professional legal advice before you change anything. I hope that helps. This is a very crucial question being asked many times over last 1 year. Okay, question number 5. What are the benefits of obtaining self-sponsorship visa and what are the potential drawbacks? Very good question. Question number 5 is, so tell me about the pros and cons of this visa category. That's a really good question. The biggest benefit is you are not dependent on anyone else. So if you get a skilled worker visa in any other company, you are stuck with that company. It's not your business, and you have to work for that company or any other company or organization under sponsorship route for 5 years before you qualify for permanent residency. Where if it's your own company, you are not in control with somebody else. because you control your own visa. It's self-sponsored visa. So it's your company, and you are being sponsored to work for your own company. So you are in 100% control of your visa. So that offers you a sense of freedom, right? So that's the biggest benefit. Number two benefit is there is no minimum or maximum investment requirement. So that offers you again another freedom of how you want to invest, what you want to invest. Number three is flexibility. So under innovator visa, the business has to be innovative, scalable, viable, and just you have to approach an endorsing body to endorse your business, and then you get the innovator visa. Where in the self-sponsored route, you don't need to consult anyone else except getting the sponsor license, which you can control yourself. So I would say in nutshell, the benefit is the freedom, flexibility, and less restrictive while running the business. So in terms of business, you can run literally any business of your choice, as long as that business is active trading and genuine business. Now, when I talk about active trading company, it doesn't need to be like trading for minimum number of years. It could have been incorporated last month, and we can apply for sponsor license even this month. So it's perfectly fine. We have done that successfully many times. I mentioned in my previous response that till date, as we record this video in January 2023, we have achieved 100% success rate getting self-sponsored route visa for our clients till date. So that's really good news. Next question is question number 6. Are there any specific industries or sectors that are more suitable for self-sponsorship in the UK? And the answer is no. Any sector, any business can apply for self-sponsorship visa. So that's simple as that. No complication. It has to be active trading company, and you have to have some transferable skill, experience of qualification, pass English language test, pick the sector of your choice, pick the business of your choice, do whatever you love to do in terms of running a business in the UK. And this is why I highly recommend someone who really want to run business to consider this self-sponsored route. Okay, question number 7. Can I apply for permanent residency in the UK after obtaining a self-sponsored visa? Then the answer is yes. This route does lead to a permanent residency in the UK for yourself, your spouse, and your children as entered the UK with yourself. Next question. Are there any restriction on travel while on self-sponsored visa in the UK? The travel restriction is same as a skilled worker visa, because ultimately this is nothing but a combination of sponsor license and skilled worker visa. So under skilled worker visa, you are allowed up to 180 days per year to travel outside the UK, which is like almost half of the year, right? Up to 180 days per year you are allowed to travel outside the UK for any reason. Anything more than that would be a trouble for you or qualifying for ILR, which is permanent residency. So it applies to everyone, yourself and your dependent, spouse and children as well. As long as you don't go outside the UK more than 180 days per year, you would likely to be qualified for, you are more likely to qualify for indefinite leave to remain, which is permanent residency. Right, the next question is, what are the requirements for maintaining a self-sponsored visa and how long is it valid for? Right, so the self-sponsored visa, what are the requirements for maintaining? So the answer is, number 1, you have to pay yourself a salary on a regular basis, which is on a monthly basis from your business account to your personal account. So you should get paid as per the called certificate of sponsorship. So when you apply for skilled worker visa, you need to declare how much salary would you get paid, and you should be paid that salary every month in your personal account as a net salary. Of course, your accountant can assist with that. The next requirement is you should be involved in carrying out the duties that you have mentioned to the Home Office that on certificate of sponsorship. Now the certificate of sponsorship might come across as a little bit of technical term, but it's nothing but an electronic number. When you get the certificate of sponsorship, you need to declare to the Home Office your job duties, potential job duties, your job role, and the salary you will get paid minimum. And you have to just continue doing what you have declared that you would do. As long as you do that, you are good with your skilled worker visa under self-sponsorship route. Now, talking about your business has to maintain and manage the sponsorship duties, right? Very important. Your business has to maintain and manage the sponsorship duties under sponsorship route. Why and how, we can explain, right? We do provide full training, complete hand-holding support, setting up a compliance system, and then also train the authorizing officer. We can train you to how to manage and maintain your sponsorship duties. So as long as you do that, that in my view enough to maintain your self-sponsorship visa. Of course, it can get into much more detail, which we can of course provide you at the consultation or when we start working for you. How long is it valid for? The sponsor license is valid for 4 years, but your skilled worker visa will be valid for 5 years. You apply straight for 5 years. Now, the sponsor license can be renewed easily every 4 years. It's not too complicated. As long as you are compliant with your sponsorship duties, you can easily renew your sponsor license for another 4 years. Renew it every 4 years. But after one renewal, you most likely will qualify for permanent residency, and that will be it. So there was a question in one of the video I did with one of the influencer. And then somebody dropped it as a comment, said, oh, I know that license is valid for 4 years. What will happen after that? It can be renewed very easily. So that's the answer to that question. Good. The last question, and this is most important, everybody wants to ask, is what are the steps involved in the self-sponsorship visa process, and how long does it typically take, and what is the cost involved? And in this question, I will cover everything. So there are three parts of this question. Let's do one at a time. So what are the steps involved in the self-sponsorship visa process? I would say total 3 steps involved. Number 1 is incorporation of the company that you wish to run. Number 2 is getting sponsor license, and number 3 is getting skilled worker visa for yourself to run your own business in the UK. So this is the process. How long does it typically take? For all these 3 steps, based on our experience, which we have been doing for last year or so, it takes roughly around 6 to 8 months, right? If you are very lucky and if everything goes smooth and very fast, maybe 4 months. This is like the best case scenario, but average, I would say 6 to 8 months. So this is the timeline. And the cost is, and again this is like tentative investment, the government fees is £6,500 for the main applicant, tentative, for 5 years visa, and for each dependent is around £3,000 for 5 years visa. Our fees, and we charge £30,000 plus VAT, which is around £36,000 typically. This is the kind of package we provide. Within this package, we help you with the help of our strategic partners, incorporation of the company, then after registering your company with the HMRC for PAYE and VAT, obtaining employees' liability insurance, also with the help of strategic partners, designing the business plan for your business. Of course, we need to prove it's active trading business, and then after, once we have that, then we go for the sponsor license application. Within sponsor license application, we provide document checklist, review all your documents, make sure it's 100% as per the Home Office policy guidance. Then we prepare full application. Then we help you prepare the sponsor license compliance pack, submit this application to the Home Office. We provide unlimited legal advice and service if there is any further question and query throughout this retainer. Get the sponsor license, then we get into the third step of the entire process, which is getting skilled worker visa, where again same, We provide you document checklist, work with you, provide you with unlimited legal advice, complete your full application, liaise with the Home Office if there is any further inquiries or question. If there is an interview, which does happen at times, we also prepare you for the potential Home Office interview as well within this fees. What we do in this pack is one-stop solution, and the reason we do that, because most likely you are not in the UK, or you are abroad, or you are not familiar where to go, whom to speak with to facilitate this solution. So we provide this one-stop solution in this package, which offers you a complete peace of mind, assurance, and hassle-free a turnkey solution. Hope that makes sense. I've covered literally everything in this video, but if I missed something, why don't you just drop that as a question in the comment section below, and we'll be happy to assist, and we'll be happy to answer those questions probably in a follow-up video. Thank you so much for being with me, and I wish you all the very best with your migration plan to the UK. People do choose UK as a destination because it offers a better lifestyle. It's a developed country. There are a lot of good business opportunities here. The better education for children, better healthcare system, which is free. That's nice. And it's a very powerful passport. If I can travel at least 170 countries in the world without applying for visa. So yeah, this is why people do choose UK and people do choose UK for various reasons. They have their own personal reasons as well. But these are the reasons I do here when I do consultation, when I speak with my clients. Wish you all the very best again, one more time. Thank you for watching, and I'll be more than happy to assist if you have any follow-up question. Please drop those questions right now in the comment section. If you like my content, please put thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, because we do create content on a regular basis. You will see one video every week, where I try and cover the questions for you from various clients who want to hire services, before they want to hire service, or if they have some technical question, we cover that in videos. So I'm more happy to share my experience, expertise and knowledge with you. Please like, subscribe to our channel, and drop a question in your comment section. Thank you so much.